All right, the Inside Out Agent. You know, for those of you who've been following me all my life, all my 45 years in the real estate business, I've been teaching agents to live from the inside out. That's how my own sales production as a young man from 23 to 26. From 26 to 29 as a manager, my office became number 1 out of 13. It's because I always made sure people was living from the inside out. I was in personal development ever since then. However, folks, I've got to tell you, in my 45 years in personal development, I think this is the granddaddy. And you're going to meet Frank McKinney here, my good friend, author of 7 books. And one of the things that blew me away about his 7th book, it's his first mindset book he's going to talk about. But he said, and listen to him in a kickoff, the reason he motivated or aspired him to write it was that just he couldn't figure out life sometimes on his own, how he couldn't stay as motivated. Well, when you see his story, read his story, and he's going to tell his story, you're going to say, wait a minute, how can you say you couldn't stay consistent? So Frank, it's all yours, my friend.
So my new book, my 7th book, as Fred said, my first mindset book is titled Aspire, How to Create Your Own Reality and Alter Your DNA. And I realized, even though I'm not dead yet, I go back over like a post-mortem of my life and my career. I built houses on the ocean on speculation. We've done it for 30 years. I've built 44 houses with an average selling price of $14.5 million. We run a charity in Haiti that's built 29 self-sustaining villages in the last 20 years. I've been married 31 years. I run the toughest foot race in the world according to National Geographic 12 times. I've lived an aspirational life. I realize motivation washes off and goes down the drain with the soap at night. If I spoke to you today and I motivated you, I failed. Inspiration lasts about as long as a bad sunburn. In other words, you might read an inspirational book or watch an inspirational movie, but 2 weeks later, it's gone. I found that aspiration allowed me to alter my DNA and create a reality for me. The name of this show is Inside Out.
The Inside Out Agent. That's what I'm known as, the Inside Out Agent.
There's a chapter in this book that is titled How to Live Your Inside on Your Outside. That is a title of one of the chapters in the personal branding section.
Yeah.
So there's 5 sections, 5 chapters. One deals with the difference between motivation, inspiration, and aspiration. That's section 1. Section 2 talks about the fear we feel when we think about taking a risk and how it's really the thought of taking the risk, not the taking of the risk, that causes the fear. 5 chapters about fear and risk. The next one is personal branding. You know, how to amplify your essence. As a real estate person, as a person in life, you've got to create a strong personal brand. The 4th section talks about your love life, how to love life and have a good love life. It's actually relationship advice. I've been married 31 years, so I felt I should share that. And the last section, and really to me is the most important, is how to dovetail your professional highest calling. So real estate with your spiritual highest calling. For me and Fred, because he's been there with me, building self-sustaining villages in Haiti, where again, we're not a flash in the pan. We've been there for 19 years, 29 villages, and 13,000 children now that have a self-sustaining existence because of one book at a time. The sale of one book provides 200 meals in one of our orphanages.
And that's one of the things, guys, why I am so pumped about this book, but that it's not a book, it's not, you know, Frank doesn't need the money. I mean, how many houses? 44 houses. Average sales price of $14.5 million. You probably made a few bucks off each of those, didn't you?
We did well. My margins are pretty good. I talk about the margins in the book.
But anyway, I don't even know what the history of books are. And, you know, I'm sure there's many people that donate in portions of it, but 100%. 100% goes to Haiti.
And
yeah.
Matter of fact, just a little, you know, because publishing is a business. It's a very matter of fact, this book and the 4 corners is a business. The 4 corners of this book is a business. I had a publisher, a very good publisher that I love my publisher. I left my publisher to self-publish this under, if you notice, Caring House Books. We started our own publishing entity so that Caring House can make more money per book sold. Even if you buy it on Amazon, hopefully you'll buy it through Fred because Fred has a special link. More money now goes per book to Caring House Project.
Right. And then you'll see the link that I have, and the reason that link is because
you made a commitment. Talk about your commitment.
When I heard about this book and I said it, and the reason this just has been released just now. Matter of fact, I have the proof copy.
You have that's it. That's the very first proof copy.
Yeah.
That's where it says on the front, not for resale.
Yeah.
You got the proof.
Now see, but the way I got this, folks, is that Frank is like a for sale by owner, right? He went and did it on his own, and he didn't hire a professional auctioneer like me. So I took advantage of it, and the first bid was how much?
The first bid was $100, and then it jumped to 444. And so you went to 445 because I was a fool. I didn't put a minimum bid above that. and he got it for $1 more.
And also, I have the trademark system called public pricing. If he would have let me have done it, see, I would have had a round
You would have
robin.
got me thousands.
Yeah, it would have been a few thousand.
You would have. But you got number one. You deserve number one.
No, it was meant to be.
It was.
Right?
It was. Matter of fact, just to show you, just so you believe me. So this is signed, and this says right here, copy number 1. There's actually misspellings in here because this was the proof copy that I sent back to the publisher to fix that resulted in Aspire being released this week.
Hardback and paperback, and you'll see the link for Aspire with my code on it, only because I want to keep track, because I have thousands of books to buy if I don't move them.
That's right. You'll get there.
But anyway, Frank, with the Inside Out agents, when you've been studying personal development all your life as well, Jim Rohn used to say, work harder on yourself than you do anything else, right? And Jim Rohn was Tony Robbins' mentor. And here we have, go back to Earl Nightingale. You may be too young for that.
No, I remember.
Okay.
I remember.
So, but anyway, all these guys, and all my life too. I mean, as Frank said, how come we don't stay consistent? Because it has to get in your DNA, right?
Yeah.
And I love that fact, how to alter your DNA. And when you study that, it's true. When you have a aspiration and you're true to yourself, and it changes your DNA.
It does.
Changes. People say, "How old are you, Fred?" I say, "I'm 68." They say, "Oh, wow, I can't believe you can run still. You do this, do that, do this." And but my DNA is altered, I believe, all from all this. And again, it's not motivation.
No.
Right? As you just said, it washes
off.
off.
Wash off with soap.
Yeah, with soap. But it's not. And I do a lot of speaking and have gone around the country with the Real Estate Leaders of America years ago speaking. And people got after I'm finished. "Oh, Fred, that was so inspirational. Oh, I'm inspired." And like you say, I look at their numbers afterwards, and nothing happened because 2 weeks later it was gone. So
find something you aspire to.
Yeah.
In my life, I'm only 10 years younger than you. So we've been around a combined, 126 years. Mm-hmm. I've only aspired to 5 things in my life. 5 things. Aspirations are like Fabergé eggs. They're sacred. I aspired to be a best-selling author when I left high school with a 1.8 GPA, and I was in juvenile detention 7 times. So there was no college. I wanted to be a writer, and I've written 7 books in 6 genres. I aspired to be a real estate artist. I can't sing, I can't sculpt, I can't paint, I can't play an instrument, but I became a 3-dimensional artist, building this beautiful oceanfront artistry on a canvas known as the Atlantic Ocean. I aspired to run the toughest foot race in the world, the Badwater Ultra Marathon. I've done it 12 times. I aspired to have a family that I really didn't have growing up, and I aspired to run a charity in the most poor country in the Western Hemisphere. That's it. That's my life right there.
Yeah.
But the aspiration, I will lose motivation to get up and train for a race. Or I won't be inspired to go a job site again and chew out a contractor. But I don't lose the aspiration to be the real estate artist. That's the difference between motivation, inspiration, and aspiration.
Yeah.
Sacred.
Yeah. And the mansions you built, you sure didn't have a check in hand from anybody, and customize. How did you build those mansions?
Well, I designed it right here. We're in my treehouse.
Right.
So of the 44, about 30 of them were designed right in this treehouse. All my books are written in this treehouse.
Stay tuned, folks. I'm going to show you the treehouse quickly in the end.
We'll do a little tour. Yeah, you don't have to leave your seat for a tour. You can literally just spin it around 220 square feet. But, God gave each one of us a spiritual and a professional highest calling. My professional highest calling was buying the land, designing the house, building the house, and marketing it like nobody else, and getting very close to 100%. Setting new markets, let me say that. We would set new markets in every city. When we started in Delray, Fred, it was Delray. There was nobody here. Everybody wanted Boca or Palm Beach. When I went to Manalapan, nobody would come south of Palm Beach. When I went to South Palm Beach to build that last house, everybody thought that was crazy. Ocean Ridge, the poor man's oceanfront town. In real estate, I don't buy location. I don't, listen, if you want to live in a nice place and have a nice country club and school, then fine. Location. But as a real estate investor, you got to go where everybody else isn't and make the location. And that part is how, when we design these houses, I'm going into markets nobody has believed in, so I can establish them. That's why I'm in North Carolina now. Because I want to make a market there.
Yeah, so folks, I'll tell you, when you think about this idea of aspiration and then living from the inside out, that is the only way. Socrates, which is one of my favorite philosophers, his quote, "An unexamined life is not worth living." That sentenced him to death, literally. He got killed for that. That's why he was sentenced to death, because he taught people to examine. And so that's what this is all about, is going in and examining your life, because you said you examined your life.
Of course.
This is what.
The other thing that there's a reason there's a multi-billion-dollar industry built around motivation. Because the smart ones I'm not going to name names, they know it doesn't last. So you're going to keep coming back for more. When it comes to that passion that everybody talks about, I have passion for chocolate. That's not good.
Yeah.
This book talks about the difference between passion, which it's fine, it's overused to me. Purpose. What is your freaking purpose? I don't want to hear what your passion is, because that won't lead you to live a very aspirational life. When I decided and discovered what my purpose was, my whole life changed.
Yep.
That's what we aspire to, discovering what your purpose is, not your passion. Once you find your purpose, you'll have passion for it.
Right. And that's what you exude, is that your passion. And one of the things when you spoke for my group once is that, one of the things I had mentioned, I said, we look at someone like Frank or someone like myself. I've been 45 years in the real estate business. I have a fairly large, sales organization now with eXp Realty, 370 people. My numbers are 65% of all my people are productive compared to the industry's 20%. I'm not satisfied, right? So, but what I was talking about at the one meeting, you may not remember, but I said, look, we look at someone like Frank or myself, or we look out there, and we always looking at the outside, oh, he's special. You're no more special than anybody watching this. I'm no more special. Right. But what happened is you went inside,
right,
and it came out.
Yeah.
Well,
I just don't believe in compromising or co-opting myself for anyone or anything or any cause. Like, I'm going to be true to who I am. I'm going to live my inside on the outside. I'm going to amplify my essence. Personal branding is nothing more than amplifying your essence to the point where your customers, either current or future, become subliminally intoxicated with you first, then your product or service. Your product or service doesn't speak for itself. You've got to be the carnival barker, the three-ring circus master, the megaphone holder, to get people to come inside your tent. That part, I think, there's a whole section devoted to personal branding, amplifying the essence that you have, not quashing it down.
Right.
Bringing the inside out.
What you just said, I spent time, I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Dennis Waitwing.
Oh, yeah, I know this guy.
Yeah, the psychologist of women. He used to work with all the Olympic athletes. I've been very fortunate to serve on his staff in his programs. And he always used to say, the decision of the buyer is always based upon the quality of the seller, the person bringing the product or service.
It's true.
So that's exactly what
it's true. People, when they come to grand unveilings for my houses and the grand unveiling for this book that takes place in about 3 weeks, which is sold out, by the way, I don't have any more tickets. People say, oh, Frank, that's so egotistical, that's so bombastic. I jump motorcycles over houses, I rappel out of helicopters. I'm the opening act. I do not come with the house. There's a method to the madness. I step the F out of the way and let the buyer with the big checkbook with a bunch of zeros come in and buy the property. That's why we put on the show. It isn't for the sake of the show, it's for the sake of the sale.
Right. And I've been there, man. What a cool thing.
I'm there to sell.
Watching this guy go from the top of a house, and I'm going to ask you that. Maybe you'll tell me the secret after that. Going from the top of a house, having a speech, and the next thing you know, 2 lots down, he's raising out of a coffin. It was close to Halloween.
Aquiliana. Yeah, that's right. But the point really is, yes, I've been called a real estate artist by the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, and I am a real estate artist. I don't want to be a starving artist. I have no desire to put on these big fancy shows that you're referring to and sit there with unsold inventory. I'm a businessman first and an artist a distant second. But it's the artistry that attracts people to the commodity, and then I step out of the way. Thank God that guy doesn't come with a house, they say. It's the house that they're there for.
So inside out agent, that's what I've been that's the name. I appreciate that name I've been given, and I love it. But that's what I want everybody else to be. I don't care, even if you're not in the real estate business, you need to live life from the inside out.
That's right.
That's where it gets real.
That's right.
That's where it gets real. And I didn't even know this because this is just being released, and I'm now
There's a chapter there. Yeah.
The chapter.
Live your inside on your outside.
I love it. And of course that's been around a long time, but I just always tell people, and I drive my agents crazy because I'm always saying, wait, you're talking about something that's on the outside here. But how you feeling on the inside? Let's talk about the inside.
Right.
And fortunately it works.
And another way to say that really is we allow so many outside forces to create reality for us. That's why I chose the subtitle, How to Create Your Own Reality and Alter Your DNA.
Yeah.
I am tired of watching people have their reality created for them by outside forces.
Yep.
It's up to us to create our own reality. Don't let the media do it. Don't let the COVID stuff do it. Don't let your teachers do it. Don't let your parents do it. Do it yourself.
Yep. No matter what's going on the outside, I'm a part of an organization called Attitudinal Healing International. And Attitudinal Healing International, one of the 12 principles is that I can be at peace regardless of what's on the outside.
That's
Yeah.
the ultimate goal of enlightenment.
Yeah.
I can't stay there. I wish I could, but I work on that every single day. To be enlightened to the point where I'm in a force field, I'm in a bubble, and I don't lit the outside. Now I'm a sensitive individual, so it's hard. I'm an empath, like I feel other people's feelings all the time. So it's really hard to not let outside forces come in and penetrate that piece. But it's something we should strive for.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned something about the title of the book when you talk about altering your DNA. It's so true. That's what happens. And who was the big management guy? Peter Drucker. You know, he always used to say, "What is the best way to predict your future? To create it."
To create it, right? Yeah. Yeah, when we sat down before, I quoted a line from the movie Rocket Man, which I love.
Yeah,
I wish it wasn't from the movie. I wish it was mine. But kill the person you were born to be, to become the person you want to be. That you really think about that. I don't want to become the person I was born to be. I was born to be a banker. My grandfather was a banker. My father was a banker. I didn't want to be a banker. I want to be a real estate artist. I want to wear purple hair and build houses on the ocean. I killed that person when I left Indiana to become Frank McKinney, the real estate artist. You can do the same thing.
And Jose, you missed one thing. When I left Indiana, how old?
18.
And how much money in your pocket?
$50 and a one-way plane ticket and a duffel bag. Yep.
And folks, let's just go ahead and do this, Frank. Let's just say, and this is where Frank is now. This is the treehouse, and this is where. How many years you've been?
20 years.
20 years.
Just celebrated 20.
The Atlantic Ocean, Delray Beach. As he said,
There's a king-size bed up there. Show them that.
Oh yeah.
The king-size bed up on the loft. There's a shower, sink.
I don't remember that. By the time I forgot that you had the king size bed.
Yeah. So I'm in the middle of writing a book. I can use the bathroom here. I can sleep up there. I can just pound it right here.
You actually go up and you take a nap.
Oh, I have. Yeah. When my daughter was younger, she'd sleep up there.
Yeah. I used to have a motorhome behind my office over there in Boca, and I would get so creative I wouldn't go home. I'd go in back in my motorhome and sleep for 4 hours, 5, get back up again.
That's what this is for.
So anyway, folks, listen, thank you so much for tuning in here. We probably got it off a little bit. But
Take care,
look at the
everybody.
link and go ahead and click, and 200 kids in Haiti will be fed when you click that button.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys.
See you later.